Hey guys, so we're back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. So now this is going to be part 3 of my Beyonce Act 2 is much bigger than we expect. Now this is the finale part. Now as we approach the Super Bowl season very soon, I also like to say that there's a couple of things I think that Beyonce might do. One, it could be something for the Grammys. It could be something that involves the Super Bowl again. So after Renaissance, we saw there was a cool down between what Beyonce wanted to do as well as what she was planning to do in the near future. And then we saw that, like I mentioned before in my previous 2 videos, she released a perfume brand that is almost a ensemble piece with the Renaissance tour as well as the film. The other thing that she also referenced was that, the perfume, like I mentioned, is a indicate of the stage of the Act 2 Renaissance. The stage could also disconnect. If you look at how the perfume looks, it almost looks like a horse's hoof, which is the metal part that connects the tour. Still now, we're still waiting on the Renaissance film to be streaming, but I don't think we'll get that anytime soon. Furthermore, the inspiration behind the Renaissance is a old, I think it was probably 1980 or close to 1950 comic book or tour, something about Jojo Wells, 1984. So she has a lot of historic connection to the Renaissance, and the transition from a platinum blonde to like more of a pale blonde, and then even the posters of the advertisements are similar from the Renaissance. To carry it on even further, if you think of the Renaissance features and how it connects to the larger scope of the entire thing, I have a theory even further than my previous 2 theories. I think Beyonce will announce something, but it's not going to be what we expect. I think it's too early. Looking at more research now, I think it's too early for her to announce a tour. But I think when it came to the previous things that I mentioned about the trailer and how the trailer is some sort of misleading. If you think of the ending of the teaser trailer, it almost feels as if she's closing out a rodeo show. I think that she will do a residency in Las Vegas due to the fact that the trailers for the Verizon has a bigger connection to the overall ensemble of the entire Act 2 presentation, due to the fact that its connection to the double album that I mentioned that Beyonce is trying to do. Now, this is not new due to the fact that, like I mentioned, this is an artist that I tend to not reference as much, but I am planning to reference The King at some point on my channel. I have so much respect for Michael Jackson and everything that he has accomplished for the music industry. He is the front runner, pioneer when it comes to the visual album as well as what we have got from Beyonce over the years. He helped push the envelope of visual albums, and Beyonce has perfected that. Like I mentioned, previous times that Michael Jackson did something spectacular like this, from Thriller to Bad, overnight Michael Jackson changed his sensational color of his his aura, his presentation from the Bad album. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was a big thing when Michael Jackson came out with this cover. It was edgy, it was like a black anthem, it almost felt rock. And when you think about it, Michael has crossed so many genres himself. So Beyonce is basically stepping in her Michael Jackson. From the performance of the Cowboy Carter Super Bowl performance level of the Beyonce Bowl, as we now calling it, I think that has now changed the way that halftimes are now done, because now Beyonce set a whole new level of bar that I think even for Kendrick, I think Kendrick is gonna play it smart. And what I mean by play it smart, I have a feeling that that presentation that Beyonce has done for the Netflix Super Bowl, holiday that she did for her hometown was not only a different level of insanity, but when you think about incorporating 500 plus people into some sort of a field show like Coachella, you get a new experience every holiday by having a different artist present themselves. So in a way, if you think about it, it seems as if the Super Bowl is somewhat about to fade out. Not fade out to the point where people not respect it, but it's gonna get to the point where it's going to be questioned when you have level artists like Beyonce performing at like a regular show. So this may have changed forever from what Beyonce just has done. Another thing that I would love to mention is that I think the announcement could be multiple things besides the other things that I talked about. I think she might go on ahead and drop the release of the Renaissance film. I think that would make some sort of sense. Or she might make an appearance at the Super Bowl this year. And reason why I say this is from the performance of the ground, how it looks is very patriotic. I think Kendrick might bring up Beyonce to make a statement, especially if they were to make up Not Like Us and then they mix it with America Has a Problem, which will make it so funny because we are in a political climate, and let's not forget that Beyonce is known for making a statement like that from the Lemonade formation. That would make perfect sense, and then her announcing the tour right after that will make perfect sense. And the Renaissance cover, it said page 14, the Black Betty tour. Now, I think the rock album will come probably middle part of the year. But in the meantime, I think Beyonce is going to do a couple of performance or appearances. And if she were to win Album of the Year, which I think it is likely to be so, it's going to make it very, very challenging for other artists to top what Beyonce has done. And like I mentioned again, the date that she has announced something, I think she might pop up at the Super Bowl this year, which will collab with Kendrick Lamar. And I would love for her to do the rock album or announce it there. But at the same time, I think it's very funny that Beyonce did a performance level Super Bowl, and we still don't know if if it was Kendrick that was the one that threw the ball at Beyonce, indicating there's a connection between her Super Bowl holiday and Kendrick's Super Bowl performance. So Tony, time will tell. But like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the album.